Hi everyone, today we'll be looking at your body fat set point. So what is the body fat set point? In short, I define it as the amount of adipose tissue or fat tissue your brain thinks you need for survival. So your brain has registered a certain level of fat in the body which it thinks or knows that you need to complete your daily tasks, to feed your brain, for reproduction, for energy levels, etc. So that is your set point. So inside of the brain, in the hypothalamus to be exact, there are these sophisticated structures that control body fatness. So it's an internal homeostasis that takes place in the body, and the main hormone that controls this homeostasis, there are other role players, but today we'll be looking at leptin. So if your brain registers that you have enough body fat, then your leptin rises and you become less hungry. So it is a negative feedback loop. The more leptin you have, the less hunger you will experience. You will eat less, and by doing so, you will maintain the level of body fat which is required for you to survive according to your brain. Then the reverse is also true. If your brain now registers you've got too little body fat, then the leptin dips and you experience more hunger. So this will happen often when you start off to lose weight. All of a sudden the brain says, oh wait, I'm losing my fat, and it's wanting to hold on to that fat because it thinks without the fat it's not going to survive. So it makes you hungry. Also this happens with people that overtrains, exercises too much and don't eat enough. They are just hungry all the time, and this is leptin saying, hey, I'm not surviving, give me more food, give me more energy. So why would it be then that some people are very fat and some people are also very thin? What would cause your internal homeostasis to not work anymore? There are basically two main things. There's the interference with the feedback loop, so interference with this leptin and other hormones, which now doesn't work the way it should. And the second thing, which we'll look at in a subsequent video, is the overstimulation of a food reward system. So let's go back to the body fatness. So the next question would be, what then interferes with the feedback loop? And the answer is, if there is inflammation of the hypothalamus, to be exact, this causes interference with the leptin and other hormones, and then they do not do the job as they should or as good as they should. So the next question then is, of course, what causes the inflammation? We'll be looking at 4 things. The imbalance of omega-3 versus omega-6 fatty acids in the body. Speculatively, energy imbalance also causes inflammation. Gut dysbiosis, and also cooking methods, using harsh cooking methods. So what causes, number 1, imbalance of omega-3 and omega-6? So the short answer would be the presence of high amounts of vegetable fat oils and low amounts of fatty fish in the diet. The reason I put it like this is because the use of vegetable oils are very common. Almost all packaged foods, even some spices, include vegetable oils. So we are consuming all of these vegetable oils, very high in omega-6, and we're not really consuming enough fatty fish, which contains omega-3, to balance off the omega-6, because the body requires a certain ratio of omega-6 versus omega-3 for health, and especially brain health. So an imbalance of omega-3 versus omega-6 causes this inflammation in the hypothalamus. The second thing is energy imbalance. So this is an easy one. If you're eating more than you need to sustain your daily activities, you are having an energy imbalance. If you're eating less than you need to sustain your daily activities, you also have an imbalance. So it goes both ways. So if you are an athlete or someone who trains a lot and you're working hard and you're not eating enough or enough of the right stuff, then you have an energy imbalance. And if you are someone with a desk job and you don't have a lot of time for exercise and moving, then eating a little bit less makes way more sense for you, because you want to avoid that energy imbalance. The third thing is gut dysbiosis. So gut dysbiosis basically means that the bacteria in your gut that controls healthy everything, in fact, gut dysbiosis means that those bacteria are not imbalanced. So you do not have the right types of bacteria or the right ratios of bacteria any longer to support your gut, a healthy gut. So disease might cause this, things like colon cancer or irritable bowel syndrome, or small intestine bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, that will cause dysbiosis. Also, high use of antibiotics. So if you haven't been using antibiotics for a long time, but previously you were using high amounts of antibiotics to control disease, this might have caused a dysbiosis in your gut. And to restore gut bacteria, that's an art in itself. So don't think if you haven't used antibiotics recently that you do not have gut dysbiosis. You might still be dealing with the effects of high antibiotic use earlier in life. Diet, of course, plays a role. Eating too little fiber, nutrient poor diet, too many sugars, too many fats. There are a lot to say about diet, but this might cause gut dysbiosis. Colon cleansers such as enemas, regular enemas for constipation. This definitely causes gut dysbiosis. That causes major problems. And then high blood glucose. Regular levels of high blood glucose does have an effect on the gut bacteria. Harsh cooking methods, that's the next one. So when we use things like frying and grilling, barbecuing, roasting, all of the things that give food that very delicious taste, we're actually screwing around with our hypothalamus. And the general rule would be to add a little bit of water and use lower cooking temperatures, because by doing this you are avoiding oxidation and damage to the very sensitive fats present in a lot of food. So think about your cooking method. It is really important. So to sum up, what can you take away from this video? Make sure that you do not overuse vegetable oils. In fact, I would recommend to avoid any vegetable oils while cooking. Read what is in the packaged food that you buy. In fact, stay away from packaged food. It's so much easier just to stay away from it than trying to control it. It's just something you have to make your mind up about. Number 2, in energy imbalance. If you are someone who do not like exercise or do not have time for exercise, or you sit a lot, or you drive a lot, you travel a lot, it's okay, but then just eat a little bit less. It really is better for you. It is surprising how little you actually need to sustain a very sedentary life. So think about your energy balance. Vice versa is also true. If you are a person who is highly active, you are moving around, you are running, you are exercising, eat enough. You're not doing yourself any favors by eating too little. Gut dysbiosis. Remember that you have friendly and very welcome bacteria in your gut, and if they go out of whack, then you've got problems. Take care of your gut. And then remember your cooking methods. Add a little bit of water, use lower temperatures. Those are really better for your health. So in the next video, we'll look at the food reward system, which is the second part of the thing that controls this homeostasis. Please take a look at that because it is important, and have a nice day.